So the first book that I want to review, and this is a textbook, is everyone knows this book by Madinah Book. There's no exception. I'm pretty sure anyone who's studying Arabic language, you have come across this book or heard something about this book, or maybe in fact studied this book, which is دروس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها. That is the main title. Okay, دروس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها. So this is by Dr. V. Abdul Rahim, rahimahullah. He only recently passed away. May Allah have mercy on his soul and admit him to highest place in Jannah. Subhanallah, the author dedicated entire his life for Arabic language. Subhanallah, you know if someone is sincere based on acceptance of his work. This is one of the book that is no doubt is one of the book that is blessed in this field. Now, before I start about this book, I want to mention some things. There's no doubt, like thousands and thousands of people benefited from this book. Because a lot of people want to say that, this is not the best book, you want to study something else. And that's fine in a way, but depends on how you say it. And you have to understand the context of this book. Inshallah, I will talk about the context of this book, how to study this book, what was the intended purpose or intended way of studying this book. I think I mentioned to you before, but I will again mention a few things. But don't listen to people who really have something really bad thing to say about this book. If you don't want to study, that's fine. Because this book, without a doubt, one of the best book to learn the language of the Quran in very, very simple way, easy way, and it gives you enough information. It gives you enough starting point as a textbook to get you started. There's nothing wrong with this book. But some teachers probably using this book a little bit differently, and then some students are probably studying it differently. They may have a few comments, but I don't appreciate any complete negative comments about this book. Okay, so if anyone who is really downplaying this book, I don't know what to say. That should be a red flag about that person intention. This book is really, really good book. You just have to know how to study. Before I go into inside, I want to mention some of the prints because you might see many different prints of these books. As far as I know, this is the print that I have. This is the oldest print of this book. When I started with this print. The Medina book, it has 3 books now. So book 1, here's the book 2, and the book 3. So as I mentioned to you, this is the old edition, and then I'll show you other edition as well. So, the classic book, you guys are all well aware of the content of this book. What I want to also show you one thing as I'm, showing the book review, I also wanted to show you in the first video how I study books and how I take notes. Maybe this is something, inshallah, it will be beneficial for you guys as well. You'll see all the time when I study, there will be some words on the top. Okay, there will be some words on the top. You will find the same style almost every books that I study. You will find some words on the top. Usually the words that's on the top, this is the word that I want to pay attention from the vocabulary perspective. So maybe I know this word or maybe I don't, doesn't matter. I want to make sure, I want to remind of this word often. So what I'll do, for example, instead of reading what's content of this book, right? I can quickly just look in the top, and if I look into this word and I don't know what this word means, that means I need to review this word a lot more. And then I can find the same word here. Okay, usually I will also make a mark of the same word. Okay, so this is a very easy way for you to review the words that you don't know. For example, whatever on the top, you just flip through it. This is usually useful when you're done with studying this book, but you want to go back, just you want to review the words, vocabs. So you just flip through the pages. Okay, you fancy a few words, so you want to quickly review them, make sure you know. If you don't know, go back to the text and you'll find the context. Sometimes I'll write the translation, sometimes I don't. I flip through this concept because if I write the translation, I feel like I'm not getting a chance to recall the meaning. You'll see I've done both ways. Okay, how do you review the words? So I usually review the words from the book itself. I will go back to the text and then I will just, flip through it, and I will see if I find any words on the top. So I look into this word. Okay, حذر. So do I know what حذر means? نبه. Do I know what نبه means? See, if I don't know, I'll go back. But here I know. So hadar is to warn, nabba is to, alert someone. So I know it, so alhamdulillah. But in the beginning, you will have like thousands of words here. You'll have a lot of words. Now, what I will do sometimes when I know that word is very easy to me right now, I don't have to review, then I'll probably erase. Okay, and make sure you use pencil. And if you don't like pencil, there are some pens which are pretty expensive, and I have a bunch of them. Those are pen, but you can also erase them. Even this one, you see the highlight? Wallah, you can erase this highlight. So they have a special highlight that you can also erase. I think it's very good for you to use pencils. Pencil would be the most ideal. And if you're using pen, you should use pen that you can erase as well. Oh, okay, good question. When you're studying the textbooks, the textbook will give you that kind of exercise. Remember, when we're doing Nahw al-Wadih, how many times it told you to make a sentence from this and that? It's asking you, the textbook is asking you to compose a sentence. If you study, Baina Yadik, they will give you the words and they will tell you to use these words in a sentence. Okay, so when you're studying a textbook, that's why the textbooks is very important. They know what set of exercise you need to do. They know what you need in order to master, right? I'm just talking about my own way of keeping a log or track of words. Okay, so it would not make any sense if I haven't done the exercises and then I'm just keeping these words here. You have to do the exercises, guys. Another thing is that when you have the words on the top, this is much better than you writing this word in another piece of paper, unless you're writing the sentence as well, because some of the words you'll know you cannot just simply use it. You need to know how to use these kind of words. It need a context. So this word, you can go back here and you can find the context. How did it come? So you can see its usage. Now, and sometimes if the word, especially for the verb, if the verb requires a preposition, I will also write the preposition as well. Okay. Now, so this is the first edition. And as I mentioned to you, this one doesn't have any English. So later, what happened is later, as I mentioned to you, I don't know actually who wrote this book, supplement, is it the author himself or someone else, is they came up with the English explanation of the grammar. This is the book 3. So they'll go through the lessons and they'll explain it's not a translation of this book. Okay, it's not like everything translation. No, it is not a translation. Instead, it is an explanation of the grammars that you will find in this book. Okay, so this is very nice. It is extremely useful. Okay, extremely useful, especially for the beginner. For example, the book 1, when you're studying learning Arabic language, of course, if you see only Arabic, you will get intimidated by it and you will not know what to do. So it gives you the vocabularies, meanings. It will give you explanation of the rules. And as far as I know, not this version, subhanAllah, there was another version that would translate the instructions, because what happens is, even in the book 1, you'll see there's some instruction that you may not know. For example, here it says, "Iqra waqtu ma'dabt awakhir al-kalimat." Now, this is something that you would not know in the beginning. You might know this one, masjid, because you learned the masjid, al-masjid, but this line you may not know. That's why, if you're studying with the teacher, and of course he will explain to you, he will translate it for you. But there's another book, which is the Medina Reader book. That book, what I know is that they write in the Arabic, and underneath they will translate the meaning, what it's saying. Okay. So when you buy, as far as I know, it come in a bundle. All of these books will come in a bundle. They'll give you the Arabic, and you will also find in English. I'm pretty sure you can buy them separately as well. But if you're buying for the first time, buy all 3 of them in a bundle. You have the English explanation and you have the original textbook. Then after this one, you have this edition. Okay, so this is the second edition. Now, this version is interesting, and I like this version better because this version has the English right in the back. Okay, so you have the Arabic on the front, and you have the English on the back. So you only have to deal with the 3 books. So if you don't know, this Medina book author, initially he wrote 3 books. The book 1, okay, book 2, okay, and book 3. Yes, so 3 books. As you can see, book 1 is very thin. Yes, It's only how many pages? I have to exclude the explanation. It's about 121 pages. Okay, pretty thin. You go to book two, well, it's getting thicker, isn't it? Right? So book two is pretty thick and pretty dense, especially with regards to verb, and it is almost the double the size. It is 220. And what do you think is going to happen in the book three? Even thicker. Allah Mustan, right? So you have these sizes. Now the question is, can you evenly distribute the time and study these three books? For example, if you take 3 months for book one, can you use 3 months for book two? And can you use 3 months for book three? No way, especially for the book. So Medina University, this is the reason you call this book Medina book is because it is taught in Islamic University of Medina. Now, what they do is they will teach the book one in 1 semester, 3.5 months. Book two, they'll teach you in 1 semester as well, 3.5 months. So it's going to be pretty dense class, pretty intensive class, because there's a lot of contents, to be honest with you. And the book three, they will divide the book three into 2 semesters. And there's a good reason for it, because book three is pretty hard, advanced grammars, so you have to study them properly. So you will need 4 semesters. Now, if you do the math, each semester is 3.5 months, 2 semesters a year, 4 semesters, 2 years. Now, can you do it faster? Yes, you can do faster, but only if you're focusing on this book series, then you can do faster. But as you know, these books are not complete. Inshallah, I'll talk about how to study this book later. Right now, I'm just going through a different version of this book. Now comes the new modern style of this book. Subhanallah, I never knew that someone would come up with this idea. If you know anything about Arabic books, most of the Arabic books in the library will be in this format. Every book, like a hadith book, every different science book, fake book, everything, it will be exactly same size. Okay, it will be a similar dimension, right? So what they did, they made the Medina book into the same type of edition books. So it's easy to keep in your bookshelf. It is easy to manage. Why? Because all three books are into one book. And here I'll show you how they divide it. As you can see, if you open, it's your standard Medina books. You have Hada Baitun, Hada Masjidun, it's there. Everything is there. But here is the first book, and here comes the second book. Okay, so I made a mark. So same lesson starts with Inna. And here they will divide the book three into two parts. So this will be the Al-Juj al-Thalith, so third part. And here comes the fourth part. So remember, this third part and fourth part combined is the third book. فهمتم? So that's why there's no way you can complete the book three in 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months you can do, but you have to do in an intensive way. Okay, so these are the three versions that I wanted to discuss you, and inshallah I will show you the whole Medina curriculum in a while. Now, how to study this book? Guys, Medina book is really good book. Okay, it is without a doubt is blessed book, is extremely good book. You just have to know how to study. Okay, Medina book, when the author wrote this book, he wanted to teach you Arabic language, especially focused on his structure and his grammar. Structure and grammar, they all fall under the same umbrella. He wasn't intending you to give you a lot of vocabularies or make you expert on the reading and the literature and all sorts of things. No, in fact, most of the text that you will find, you will see the writings are, usage of the language is very bare minimum, very simple. He just wants to show you whatever grammar rules he's going to be teaching you. He wants you to see how to use them in a very simple format. Okay, so what he does, the reason why this book is very good is whatever topic he will teach you, he will start with some kind of text. For example, the first chapter, is very simple. So you have Hada Baitun. So whatever he does, he will explain later. As he move forward, he will start giving you, as you know, this book is very famous for that. He will start giving you hiwar, conversation. Okay, so for example, whatever the text he provides you, every single thing that is in here with regards to grammar and the words, he will explain these issue in the text itself, in this lesson itself. Okay. That's why some of the conversation you'll find pretty silly, very simple things, nothing going on. Even book three, the conversation will be very simple. The student saying that, the teacher is standing up, the other person came in the room. So it's very simple thing because it's not a literature book, guys. It is a grammar book, but he wants to show you how to use these words or these grammar rules. It is much better than just giving you rules without showing you the examples. Okay, just like what all the grammar book does, every ajurumi and everything, they'll just give you the rules. There's no examples. Okay, so he's giving an example and he's giving you the rules. He's showing you the vocabs and he's also showing you the uses of these vocabs. So this is the purpose. That is the intention of this thing. Now, and the author, when he wrote, he knows the curriculum. So he knows that this is not the only book that the students will study. Now, if this is the only book that you study and you think you will become a proficient in this language, then you're mistaken. This is not the intention of the author, and this should not be the intention of you as well. Okay, so the book is meant to give you very ease with the language. You will know the language, you will feel comfortable with the grammar, you will have enough vocabs to get by things and that. But you have to study other books along with this. Inshallah, I will show you what are the books they teach you in the Islamic University of Medina and what you can do. Before I do that, so just quickly review, the book one is exclusively for the nouns. Okay, so the book one will exclusively talk about all the things about nouns, adjectives, nominative sentence, all sorts of things. It will introduce a little bit about the verbs, not so much, but the book two gets very details with the verbs. Okay, this is the book two, extremely detailed with the verbs. Even talks about very advanced topics of the verbs with regards to weak verbs, weak letters. So it is very, very dense. It also has topics of the nouns, many other things. So once uh, in my opinion, book one and two is a prerequisite for everything else that you do in Arabic language. Now, you can get this content of the book one and two by studying the Medina book or studying, for example, Al-Kitab al-Asasi or Binary. It doesn't matter. The content of the book, like these contents are prerequisite for anything, even reading a simple story like Qisas and Nabiin. Anything you want to read, these two should be bare minimum requirement. That's why I always encourage students, just get these two books done within 6 months period. Study hard, don't skip anything. Don't think that I just have to flip through these pages and then I'm done. No, I'm asking you to study properly as a student, as doing all the exercises. After finishing these two books, my suggestion is that take a pause. Do not go into book three. There's two things you can do. Take a pause and start doing a reading. For example, Qisas and Nabeen. I will review this book a lot. So you have to start reading something else. You have to start reading very basic reading books and get a little bit more comfortable with the reading and the vocabs. Don't go into the grammars. Whatever grammars you have should be sufficient for you to read a lot of children book. Another thing you can do before going into book three is read another textbook, beginner to intermediate level, meaning so that it will give you a review of what you have done from a different angle. Okay, from the different angle. And also maybe you prepare yourself a little bit for the book three. And I'll give you another analogy with the math. A lot of people probably don't know math. If anyone who studies algebra in high school, algebra one and two, and then they go to college, they want to study calculus, they always find difficulties. But that's what most people do. They do algebra and then they do calculus. And then they have a difficulties. Why? It's better to study pre-calculus before studying calculus. Pre-calculus has a lot of elements of the algebra. So you have a review, and then it has a lot of trigonometry, a little bit of geometry, analytic geometry, something that would be important for the calculus. So it is a bridge. Okay, so if you study pre-calculus, then the calculus will be super easy. It is not 100% required for you to do that, but your journey will be very smooth. Okay, I know a lot of people suffer in the book three because, as you know, book three in the first lesson, wallahi, the first lesson is like what should I say? He just goes into and show what is the Arabic language is about. He goes into very details about the grammatical notions. It is almost like a grammar book in itself. And I think I mentioned to you one of these days, I wanted to just do a sharh explanation of only the first lesson. because he literally talks about all the elements of the language, something that you have covered from the book 1 and 2, and something that you will cover in book 3. But he gives you an overview picture of the Arabic grammar. Now, what other teacher wants to do is give you this content in the day one. This is the problem. They think that Sheikh Abdul Rahim, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know the grammar. He doesn't know how to teach. He's showing you, guys, I know. That's why in the book 3, the first thing he did, this is not like in your any other lessons. There's no hiwar, there's nothing. It is just grammar note after grammar note after grammar note. So he brings you up to a pace where you can appreciate this thing, and then he will show you what are the things you'll learn, the whole overview of the grammar. Then obviously he gets into the text itself. And book 3 mostly will deal with advanced grammar topics and especially soft. Now, the SORF, when you have verb conjugation, like for example, book 2, this is part of the SORF, but main SORF, when we say SORF, we talk about the morph of a word from one word to another word. How do you change the word to make a different meaning, not to make a conjugations? So he goes details into this book. You have enough SORF in this book to pretty much continue with your academic studies. Of course, nobody's telling you don't study any other soft book or any other grammar book. Of course, you can, but he's preparing you so that you can start touching bachelor's degree books. Remember, these things are prerequisite for entering into bachelor's studies in Arabic language. Okay, and at the same time, he touches the advanced grammars like tamiz, istithna, and he goes into all the other things. So this is pretty advanced book. Okay, so before you start this one, my suggestion is that you take a pause, do a reading, or you do other grammar book that will do a review. And who can tell me what is the best book to study after book 1 and 2? If you're my student, if you have been coming to my classes, you should know instantaneously. What is my suggestion that you study after Medina book 1 and 2 from a grammatical perspective, textbook perspective? If you want to take a break from here, I'm not telling you not to study this. If you want to take a break, review and get a smooth nahu al-wadih. Ahsanti. So after that, you will study this an-nahu al-wadih. Okay, so this book, when you study after this one, the grammar will be breeze. In the beginning, you will understand everything what he's talking about. At the same time, you will have lots of opportunities to get more vocabularies and improve your vocabs and all sorts of things. And then at the end of this Nahul Wadeh, it has lots of topic that the book 3 will teach you. So you're also preparing. Okay, inshallah, I'll talk about this book later. As I started with this session today, if you're studying Arabic language, learning Arabic language from the beginning, even if you studied something here and there, but you have never, ever studied a proper textbook cover to cover, wallahi, I'm telling you to start from the zero. Like start again, make sure you study a textbook cover to cover. So Medina book is one of the textbook. Okay. It will teach you in very proper way with all the things that you need to know, and then you can focus on specific book for the grammar. Then you will see that everything that you learn, you will understand, you'll appreciate much better. First thing is any textbook, and the one that I'm reviewing right now is Medina book. Inshallah, next time I'll review Nahu al-Wadih, which is not for the beginner, but I'll review Nahu al-Wadih, and then I'll review Bayna Yadayk and all the other textbooks, inshallah, bi-idhnillah. I know like a lot of people like saying this book's name, Ajrumiya, this and that, I'm not impressed. You have to study them, but after you properly have a grasp of the language. The book name that you mentioned, these are meant for the Arab students. Now, so the Arabs, when Arab reads like Ajrumiya, you think he needs a translation to understand what the author said? No, he doesn't need a translation. He's just learning the rules. I speak English. If I open a grammar book on English, do I need someone to translate that grammar book in my own language? If I have to do this, then maybe I should not be reading that book. Now, so when you read a grammar book, my theory is that if you cannot translate by yourself at least 60 to 70% minimum, then you should not be reading the grammar book. You should be going back to the textbook. This is a very, very important. I hope you understand. So this is how you know whether you should be reading this book or not. Fahamtum? Now that I wanted to show you is, as I mentioned to you, this book is focused on the grammar, and the author intention is that you have to study other books along with this. Now I will show you what are the books they study in Islamic University of Medina. In the last session, I talked to you about these books, but now I am showing you the physical copy, and I'll show you the inside as well.